said, "Get out," that's when I knew that something was wrong.
I regret to inform you that your son has been injured.
We continue to improve despite overwhelming odds.
Battling the odds. You're about to meet three men who endured combat injuries so extreme that no one could be expected to survive them. One, a soldier nicknamed Rocket Man, is making it. So is a Marine they call Lucky. The third, also a Marine, ultimately was taken by his injuries after surviving them for an incredible 3 years. An advisory, some of the video may be disturbing. Specialist Channing Moss's mission in early 2008, recovery.
I lost 25% of my pelvic, damaged my hip, lost nerve damage, lost muscle in my right leg, just messed up my left leg, and lost 50% of my intestine. Lost a lot. But I'm still here though, so.
His posting, the Warriors in Transition Battalion at Fort Gordon, Georgia. He's lost track of how many operations he's had, and there will be more. On March 16, 2006, then Private First Class Moss was with the Army's 10th Mountain Division, deployed to southeastern Afghanistan, the machine gunner in a Humvee on patrol.
Coming around the mountainside, get down into the little valley dip, and all of a sudden they just start opening up with like AK-47s and RPGs.
2 rocket-propelled grenades hit his Humvee. A third, fired from the front, smashed through the windshield and lodged itself inside PFC Moss's abdomen, from his left hip to his right thigh, unexploded.
I really didn't know what I had in me until I couldn't move my leg, and I was like, man. And then Doc Angel pulled me down out of the turret, and he started working on me immediately. He's like, don't look at it, don't look at it. And I was like, and I looked over to him and I was like, Doc, I don't want to die like this, man.
Within minutes, a medevac helicopter was landing to evacuate PFC Moss and 3 others wounded in the firefight. Chief Warrant Officer Jorge Correa was the pilot. His crew's medic told him they had,
"You got a guy with an RPG in the stomach." After all the missions I've done in Iraq and Afghanistan, I never had a guy like that. So we kind of like, what are we gonna do now? I kind of think in my mind, we gotta get this guy out of here. And everybody else agreed, we're gonna take the guy. We put our life in danger.
He knew he wasn't supposed to fly live munitions, but Correa decided this time to take a chance.
Potential in danger was, that the RPG would go off and we all could have, got injured or we all could have died. But, as a crew, we decide to risk our life for him because he needed us at the time. And then, people will question you, and we question ourselves sometimes. We're like, it was the right thing to do, and we all agree it was the right thing to do.
At the Combat Support Hospital, medical personnel faced a similar dilemma.
They cut off all my clothes, and when Doc O said, "Get out," that's when I knew that something was wrong. I had the whole rocket in me.
The cache was evacuated. Explosives Ordnance personnel determined the warhead of the RPG had been knocked off, but the still explosive detonator remained. So, Dr. John O. proceeded with the operation, with EOD Sergeant First Class Daniel Brown actually holding on to the device. It wasn't until later that Channing and his wife Lorena learned what had really happened.
They explained it's a rocket-propelled grenade, short for RPG, and it has tail fins. And they showed me how it went into his body. And I just lost. I was like, oh my God, are you serious? Can this really happen?
I could sit here all day and make a list out of how many, just not me, everybody that put their careers, their lives, their family in danger just to save my life. It just wasn't me, it was everybody. Everybody was in danger.
There's something pulling. There we go, we're clear, we're clear.
Once removed, the RPG was promptly destroyed. Private Moss was at Walter Reed 5 days later, where a doctor would nickname him Rocket Man. He faced more operations and a slow, gradual recovery. Plus, he still had a nasty wound.
He couldn't close it. It was like this big on my hip. It was like and it was like in a V, and it went back. And they just had a packet with gauze to draw all the bacteria and stuff out.
At first, he was depressed. Then, he pushed his pace of recovery.
I started doing PT. I started working out.
Moss had decided not to accept his Purple Heart until he could walk.
My wife wheels me in to my Purple Heart ceremony, and she was like the only one that knew I could walk. And I stood up, and the retired general, I walked over there with my cane, and the retired general gave me my Purple Heart. I wanted to be an example of Army Strong, you know. They preach Army Strong, so I wanted to be an example of that. Hey, baby.
He looks perfectly fine, a little thin, but he looks fine. On the outside, he has a lot going on, and you know, because he had a lot of internal damage. But I take every day as a blessing. I'm glad he's here with us.
One of the reasons Channing enlisted was to provide a better life for his young family. Older daughter Juliana knew him before his injury.
She actually knows what happened to her father. It's just weird how much children take in, and she would come and bring me water to my bedside, so I knew I had to be stable for her.
Younger daughter Ariana was born while he was at Walter Reed.
This is the Channing Moss Fitness Center, named after Channing Moss, who's our war hero from West Hall High School.
Specialist Moss is a graduate of West Hall High School in Oakwood, Georgia, north of Atlanta. Veterans Day 2007 was declared Channing Moss Day in Hall County after his amazing case got national attention. Channing was invited to speak to students from the football field where he'd once played. He hadn't expected all the pomp rolled out for him that day, and school administrators got a reaction they hadn't expected.
When Channing came out, the place just erupted. It was unbelievable. Our student body gave him a standing ovation. I mean, I think it went on, it seemed like for hours. I'm sure it was only probably a few seconds.
When he spoke, he told them,
it's the key decisions that you make in life, the beliefs, the values that you have in yourself that is going to make you a better person. Because I said, I've done it all. I've been part of the so-called hip-hop nation, wanting to be this, wanting to be that, and bad, and I listened to my parents. But I was like, they're not trying to harm you or hinder you, they're trying to protect you.
When he spoke to our students here, he was inspirational. There was not a word said out there on that football field. Everybody listened in, and he touched those kids in a way that I've not seen ever in almost the 20 years that I've been here at West Hall.
Like I said, I wasn't perfect. I did a lot of things that I'm not proud of, but I saw the light.
His message out front was so befitting to our student body that you can make mistakes, get up off your back, and go forward.
It was amazing for me to see how our student body responded, the heightened awareness of the sacrifices our veterans make and have made historically brought our student body together.
And I told him afterwards, I said, God has spared you for a reason, and I think part of that reason is to be an inspiration to those following you so that you can show them that there is a way out, a better life, some kind of purpose in life, and that you found that.
If you talk to Channing, I think he would tell you it's probably one of the best days of his life, and it definitely wasn't mine.
I got my own day in my city, in Hall County, and then I got the fitness center named after me, and they walked me around. It's like my name and these big letters, and it says Channing Moss Fitness Center, and I just stood there like, I was just like, man.
Channing Moss will live with the effects of his wound for life, but he knows his case can be an inspiration to others.
I want to thank everybody that's out there fighting in the military overseas right now. Just keep your heads up, you'll be home one day. And I'm an example, you can make it through anything.
Lorena also has encouragement for spouses.
Just be there for them no matter what, whether they come back in one piece or in, just not the same at all. Just be there for them and support them in any way possible. Don't abandon them.
At Christmas time, Channing Moss went back to West Hall High School with a gift for each student. In a blue velour bag, a dog tag with the inscription, "To whom much is given, much is expected."